Europe is home to some of the world's most breathtaking cities, each rich with history, culture, and unforgettable landscapes. However, these iconic destinations often lose their charm when overrun by tourists, commercialization, and the challenges of over-tourism. Here's an in-depth guide on why you might want to think twice before visiting some of Europe's most famous cities, along with the emotions and experiences that might leave you disenchanted. Venice, Italy. Venice, the floating city of dreams, is one of the most romanticized destinations in the world. Its canals, gondolas, and historic palazzos seem straight out of a fairy tale. But when you arrive, the dream can quickly turn into a nightmare. The narrow streets are packed shoulder to shoulder with tourists, making it nearly impossible to move or find a moment of tranquility. Local Venetians have been leaving the city in droves, citing the impossibility of daily life amidst the crowds. The once authentic culture feels replaced by a theme park version of Venice, with overpriced gondola rides and restaurants catering solely to tourists. You'll likely leave feeling drained, rather than enchanted, mourning the loss of the city's true soul. Barcelona, Spain. Barcelona's vibrant art, architecture, and beachside charm make it a bucket list destination. But today, the city is cracking under the strain of too many visitors. The enchanting alleys of the Gothic Quarter and the architectural marvels of Gaudi are swarming with people, making it difficult to fully appreciate their beauty. Pickpockets are a constant threat, and locals, fed up with the noise and disruption, are actively protesting against mass tourism. Walking through La Rambla, you'll find overpriced trinkets and pushy street vendors, rather than the authentic Catalan spirit you hoped for. Amsterdam, Netherlands. Amsterdam's picturesque canals and historic charm are overshadowed by the sheer number of tourists crowding its streets. What was once a peaceful city has become a chaotic hub for partygoers and weekend travelers. The famous red light district and coffee shops draw a particular crowd, often leaving the city feeling more like a boisterous stag party than a cultural hub. Locals complain that the influx of tourists has driven up housing costs and eroded the city's identity. Instead of experiencing the serene beauty of Amsterdam, you may feel overwhelmed by the noise and commercialized atmosphere. Rome, Italy. Rome is a city where every corner holds a piece of history, from the Colosseum to the Vatican. However, its grandeur is overshadowed by endless queues and overcrowded landmarks. The beauty of the Trevi Fountain is marred by throngs of tourists jostling for the perfect photo, and the Spanish Steps often feel like a stadium during a big game. Aggressive street vendors and scams targeting tourists add to the frustration. While the Eternal City's history is unparalleled, the experience can feel more like a battle than a journey into the past. Paris, France. The City of Light promises romance, art, and elegance, but Paris often fails to live up to its mythos. Iconic sites like the Eiffel Tower and the Louvre are plagued by long lines and overwhelming crowds. Scam artists and aggressive souvenir sellers patrol the most popular areas, making you feel more like prey than a guest. Restaurants and cafes around major landmarks charge exorbitant prices for mediocre food, leaving you feeling taken advantage of. Paris's charm is undeniable, but the relentless hustle and crowds can leave you longing for a quieter, more authentic experience. Dubrovnik, Croatia. Dubrovnik's medieval walls and stunning Adriatic views have made it a magnet for travelers, especially after its starring role in Game of Thrones. But the influx of cruise ships has turned the old town into a crush of humanity, making it nearly impossible to explore without feeling claustrophobic. Prices for food and lodging have skyrocketed, and the once lively city now feels like a set piece for tourists. Locals have expressed concern about the strain on infrastructure and the loss of their community's character. While Dubrovnik's beauty is undeniable, the experience often leaves visitors disappointed. Prague, Czech Republic. Prague's fairy tale architecture and historic charm make it a top destination in Europe, but the reality can feel anything but magical. The iconic Charles Bridge and Old Town Square are often so crowded that they're hard to navigate. The city has become a hotspot for bachelor parties, with loud groups disrupting the atmosphere and cheap tourist traps dominating the nightlife. While Prague's beauty remains intact, the constant noise and crowds can make it hard to truly appreciate. Santorini, Greece. Santorini's whitewashed buildings and stunning sunsets have made it one of the most photographed destinations in the world. However, the narrow streets of Oia, where most tourists flock, are often so crowded that you'll spend more time waiting in line for photos than enjoying the views. Prices for accommodations and food are shockingly high, and the island's infrastructure struggles to handle the influx of visitors. The serene beauty you see in pictures feels out of reach amidst the chaos. Reykjavik, Iceland. Reykjavik is the gateway to Iceland's natural wonders, but its own charm is often overshadowed by high prices and overcrowded attractions. The famous Blue Lagoon, for example, is heavily commercialized and feels more like a tourist trap than a natural retreat. Accommodations and food in Reykjavik are expensive, and the influx of visitors has made it harder to find authentic Icelandic experiences. While Iceland's landscapes are worth exploring, Reykjavik itself can leave you feeling underwhelmed. London, United Kingdom. London's history, culture, and landmarks make it a perennial favorite, but the city's size and popularity can make visiting a stressful experience. Attractions like Buckingham Palace and the Tower of London are plagued by long queues and high ticket prices. The city's transportation system, while extensive, can feel overwhelming for first-time visitors. Additionally, London's cost of living extends to tourists, with accommodations, dining, and entertainment often breaking the bank. While London is undeniably vibrant, the hassle of navigating its crowded streets and attractions can leave you feeling exhausted. While these cities have earned their places as top travel destinations, the challenges of overtourism, high costs, and loss of authenticity can make visiting them more stressful than enjoyable. If you're seeking a truly memorable and meaningful travel experience, consider exploring less popular destinations that offer similar beauty and charm without the chaos. Alternatively, visit these cities during the off-season or venture beyond their most famous landmarks to uncover hidden gems.